Me, a 23-year-old female with my boyfriend, a 24-year-old male of 2 years, says I ruined his best friend's party. I have been dating David, a 24-year-old male, for 2 years. He lives about 20 minutes away. He has told me he resents the fact my parents paid for my schooling, which is partially true. They cut me a check after I graduated. I worked long hours and got scholarship slush to help pay for it. I didn't even know they had a college fund for me. He also has said he my mom hates the house, and since it is not the prettiest home, she let me live there. She then signed the house over to me when she moved across country for work. I have a full-time job with good benefits and have worked my ass off to pay my bills, save money, and fix up the house. Most of my spare time is done making the house as nice as possible. I even install the wood floor myself. David says I don't know how to work hard, but I have 40-50-hour weeks and have a high-energy job. I have told him the comments were topped. I do love David, but sometimes he can get carried away trying to be the life of the party. David asked if he could have some friends over to my house. It was supposed to be a surprise gathering for his friend Mike. It was a cake, some pizza, a few beers, and presents, so pretty casual. I knew all the people he was inviting, and he told me he would clean up. Then he asked if I would go out for the night, so he could have the house to himself. I told him I was not comfortable with that, and I didn't want to leave my untoned. He didn't have a real answer and said he just wanted to feel like he had his own place. It was a pretty sketchy reply, and I told him I wanted to socialize with Mike as well. I like beer. I like pizza. I love cake. David acted like he had the right to think about it. I told him that I was either going to be included or he could find somewhere else to party. He told me I was being controlling. He said I should trust him. I said my house, my rules, which might have been pretty bitchy to say, but I didn't see why I had to vacate my own home on a Friday and go somewhere when there would be people I liked and who liked me at my house. I knew Mike before I knew David, and we are still good friends. Plus, there were going to be other girls there, so it was not like he wanted a guy's night. Even then, I didn't think I needed to leave. He could do it at his own apartment. I then told him that I didn't think Tave him. The gathering started 5 p.m. I thought that would pet fought. David got so upset he left the room. But he eventually told me that he would respect my rules, even though I was acting like his mom. He told me he resents that I have to remind him to be an adult. Friday comes and it is a fun time. We shoot the shit. There are 8 people total. Everyone, minus Mike and his wife, leave at 9:10 p.m. Everyone pitches in to clean up. Mike thanks me for the party and his wife is asking if I want to hang out another day. David's phone rings and he starts talking like, "Sure man," and "come on in." I hear what sound like a horn honking and then a car pulling up. I have a gravel drive, so you can hear the rocks crunching. And the lights flash into the living room. I ask David if he is going somewhere, and he sort of looks guilty. He tells me he invited some guys over and that they were just going to chill for like an hour or two. I told him that I didn't want more people in the house, that he needed to ask me to invite people over. He snapped, "I pretty much live knit. I have a right to invite people over. Pretty much live here is 2 days a month when he can spend the night. The other times I visit him between work and classes, or we go on late dates. But I usually spend the night at his apartment. It is closer to work." Someone knocked and I told David not to answer the door. I told David he needed to get his friends out of here and leave. I was done playing host. David ended up calling me a selfish witch and got his things, leaving. I got a call at 3 a.m. to take him up his friends because he was too drunk to drive. I told him to sleep it off, so David came by, sat around noon, and proceeded to tell me I ruined his night and he didn't know how he could forgive me for this. He said I was a terrible person for embarrassing everyone like that, and Mike had called to say he was upset. How could I do that to him? How could I be so selfish? Then he told me, "We will live here one day, so you should get used to having my friends over." I told my friend and she said I probably ruined a good time and said I had overreacted, but I don't think I did. I didn't want them there. I had shit to do in the morning and I didn't want people crashing on my couch using my house as their whiskey hotel. I am tempted to break up with him over this. Is it a stupid reason? Did I act like a witch? I am pretty bad at socializing and am pretty shy, so I could have been wrong. But I don't feel like I was. Tatra. My boyfriend says I ruined his friend's party. Was I wrong? Liptine comp and toffen held Nate 6 kauf, and her dislike o alcohol I said to an purse that's like I understand so young and she should let people crash on her couch, but I am introverted. I don't like drinking. My dad did it a lot and it makes me nervous. And the point of the party ending that early is so people wouldn't get drunk and crash on my couch. I have never been one for big parties, and Mike is the sort of guy who feels the same. No one was drunk, everyone was a little older in the group. Most people are 30, and everyone works, so it's not like they all wanted a smashing party. Update of stressed, give it ept. So here, I called Mike and asked him if he spoke with David. He said he did, but that it was for maybe 5 minutes. They made plans to go golfing, but Mike turned him down because he felt uncomfortable with how David was acting. It was not even about the party. He told me the last time he went out with David, they went to a bar with some of David's work friends, which included a few of the younger girls at his work. I have no problem with this, and David did not cheat. The girls, however, were pretty wild and got smashed. David did not want to eat the Mike. Then he took Mike over to his friend's house. These were some of the same guys he tried to get over at my house. Mike ended up leaving because they were making crude jokes about Mike's wife and were smoking pot. He said the way David treated him made him feel uncomfortable, and the party had been the last straw because David spent the time he wasn't with me complaining about how immature and stupid I was. Mike said we were cool and he would love to hang out with me another time, but he needed to stay away from David. It seemed pretty much to be, if David is still your boyfriend, peace out. I ended up inviting 2 friends over for lunch on Sunday last, and we talked about David for almost 3 hours. I told them everything about the party and the way he had been treating me. I repeated some of the things he said, and it all just kind of clicked. I didn't want to be with someone who was a total child. I felt oddly liberated thinking that, and my stress just slipped off. I knew in that moment that I wanted nothing to do with him again. I was done, and it was time at it. I guess, deep down, part of me had already been letting go after the party. David ended up texting me while my friends were over asking if he could borrow my gas card. I have never let him take cards from me to use because I feel like that is asking for trouble, even with people I have known a long time. I told him he should come by and we could talk about it. My friends insisted on staying to offer moral support, but would be in the next room. It was actually easier than I thought it would be. He came in, asked for the card, and I told him that it was over. He was not getting the card, and I never wanted to see him again. I told him to keep the $200 he owed me. I didn't need it. He told me he wanted his movies back. I gave them to him, and he left. 2 days later, he texted and called me about 30 times asking for me back. He needed me. He loved me. He wanted to be with me. I find out that he was late on rent, spent most of his money partying, and that he could help about. He showed up at my house twice, but telling him through the door I would call the police made him leave. I have yet to see him again. I am not sure what is going on in his life, but fluff him. So that is the update. I am now single, focusing on work. I have plans to take a trip. Someone is watching my house for me and knows not to let him in. My friend Amelia and I are going to the mountains. I got a facial and massage. The tension was pretty thick and Marcus cut right through it with his magic hands. And I am now ad. I have taken extra shifts at work and gone out with friends. I have a gathering in a few days with some other friends, Mike included. It feels nice, but I am sure at some point when the victory has worn off, I will likely have a good cry about it. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Telf time 2014. Telf time. Free final update Sep 10 2014, 2 months after Prev. Update. It has been a while and I am not sure if anyone remembers me, but I wanted to update. David have a key to. I had a 2-week period where he was aggressively stalking me and would follow me to work. Either way, he has been in jail for a long time. I started dating someone else pretty quickly after, and things have been going well. My new partner is also like me and likes to go to bed early and wake up early. We spend a lot of time together on the weekends and the time we are apart. He always sends me cute texts and makes sure to remember small things. I like him a lot better than David. Thank you all so much for the support. You at someone new. And David was arrested. Life goes on. This is a first sub. I am not the oop. Do not contact the oops for company. Pin tagged the oops or comment on linked posts. Remember, Rule 7 submitted by /u direct Caterpillar 77 link comments. Drop your verdict in the comments. Wait, what?